Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a nice day. Check this out, sun. Woo! Vampire. It's gonna be a hot one, you can tell, boy. That's a strong morning sun right there. Yeah, it's beautiful. Check this out up here too. Let's walk on up here. There's a rock gathering mermaid already on the shore here. Yeah, it is really low tide. I'm gonna kick my sandals off right here. You glad I came, huh? Yeah, I told you I was gonna put that video out and I was gonna be right out the door with you. Told you that last night. All I need to do was make the title and thumbnail and boom. Boy, it is rocky right now, ain't it? It's not always rocky. This beach changes day after day, week after week. It's just according to how strong the waves were. Well, boy, there's chunks of that concrete that I like, so you're right. Because I can keep gathering that up for another gabbing. Well, man, it's just shocking how much stone there is right now. And then just right past that, right where the water's edge is, that's sand. It's just this little strip of stone here. Those barnacles.
That's why I'm just trying to be what I can know.
Well, I'm gonna put this down. Mel's right. I come out here and see this, I'm gonna be drooling like her, because I'm gathering up rubble concrete, and there's a bunch of it mixed in right there. So I'm gonna put my coffee down, and I'm gonna get busy. Isn't that piece of wood beautiful? Look at that. Start my morning out dirty. Started out dirty. Whew. So I've been toting concrete and been toting stones. I walked right down here and you won't see them all. I've already moved part of them. There's a group of big stones. I'll show you. They were all grouped together in one place. These are the ones I haven't carried up yet. It was just a job to dig them out of the sand and rock, and carrying them up over the top of that embankment. But we lost some stones here before, hard waves, and there was some just laying right up there along that side, and the waves that washed them out, well, they didn't take them too far. They were right here. So I'm taking them up over that beach on the other side. But some of these I just pitched up in case the high tide comes in before I get to them. Yeah, they were just all buried in right here. One little group of big stones and then no more. Yeah, I could walk out here to the sandbar. Oh, this feels good. Good. Kids are out there playing on the sandbar. Boy, this feels good. Really low tide right now. When I'm showing y'all this each time, it's low tide. Then when the tide comes in, the sandbar covers back up. I had a viewer say that, boy, if this sandbar would move forward and that sand moved to the beach, it'd be nice. But we're of the total opposite opinion, living here and knowing how this works here. There's this sandbar, and then out from it out there, a little further, is another sandbar. It's not exposed like this one, but it's there, just right below the water. And then there's one more out there further, and it's just super clean sand on them. But those is what breaks those big waves and keeps them from crashing our shore. We don't want to lose these sandbars. They're our natural defense. We love them. We're happy to have them. Blessed to have them. Oh, that water's cold right there coming up this other side. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, we don't want to lose the sandbars. They are a natural defense. We saw this rope here And that might be one of my anchors that the boys lost before. Saw it the other day out here too. So had to dig down, and it's so hard. You got a very limited time, kind of like that McRib at the McDonald's, only here for a limited time. But you can tell that rope's pretty old. Hate to dig down and not be it, and it just be a block of concrete in a can or something, you know. Yeah. One of the reasons you see the water gets so turbulent in the videos along the shoreline, because those big waves are coming in, hitting those sandbars. So like between this and the next one, you can't see right now because the water's too calm. If we had just a little tiny bit of wave action, you'll see them breaking out there on it. They are our blessing. So between this sandbar and the next one, the water and the trough on it in the low place could get maybe right now like 9 foot deep, and then all of a sudden go right back up to where you're just standing at your shins. And high tide, of course, it's going to be, you know, 6-7 foot higher than that. But right up here, it'll get maybe 6 to 8 foot deep at high tide. So when the tide's up, we can just drive our boats right out over these sandbars. And there's no corals on them. There's no coral here, so you're not going to strike your boat on coral or anything like that. I'm enjoying the last of my coffee. It's cold now though. So you can see I'm out here a ways, and I'm just standing up about knee height, and it's just pure sand. Feels so good, so good. So it's a Monday, new work week. Things are going good right now. Those rooms being poured, the final walls. That's not the final walls. I need to change my wordage on that. The main walls of the main room of the 3 guest rooms, the final wall, main big walls, will be poured maybe by the end of today. Maybe some today, some tomorrow. And then all 3 of those new guest rooms will have the main room area poured. Excited for it. Treading the water here. Well, you know, I spent so much time building and just jumping right into the videos each morning, coming out with the camera right at time when the work crew's getting there, or just a few minutes after that. Never showing you our mornings out here, you know. So I know it's a little switch up, but it's just me trying to be considerate of you guys and say, you know what? All they see us build here, they don't ever see us relax and enjoy. They probably think all we do is work only. And they don't realize that we have a morning time and relaxing, and we gather things from the shore and just enjoy life. It's not always just straight into the hustle of building. And something else you may not realize is that you might have seen a video that says it's Monday, and then all of a sudden you heard a video and you heard us say it's Thursday. But where did Tuesday and Wednesday go? Well, because we took those days to ourselves. Yeah, we took those days to ourselves. It's not an actual day-by-day vlog. Sometimes I might show the morning, and then all of a sudden it's evening time. Got to have some time for your own life without a camera. You gotta have some time for that, or I'm telling you, this YouTube thing can literally take your life over. And anybody that's done YouTube in a serious way knows it becomes more than a job. It will literally take you over if you allow it to. So you need to be the boss, not it the boss. The way the system's set up, they really have you out there hustling, chasing that algorithm. Very smart little setup. So YouTube's not your boss. You're not your own boss. Because if you're any way serious about it, your boss is that algorithm out there. That struggle to stay out there going. Yeah, well, we're blessed. We broke over 50,000 subscribers. The morning we broke over 50,000. By the end of the day, we had 50,100 and something. So we picked up another like 120, 130 subscribers that day. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I enjoyed that. Some kind of little treat. But you know what? That's just another way of them having you chasing that carrot, right? Because you don't get paid for subscribers. You get paid for views. But they give you these little milestone moments, just like a video game. And you're trying to hit these, you know, like win the prize. Ooh, I won the prize. I got 50,000, you know, or in the beginning, ooh, I won the prize. I got 1,000. And they'll cheer you along the way. They'll pop up little stuff in your studio. New achievement. Just like if you're playing Mafia Wars or some kind of video game. And now as you made it to 50,000, your next goal is, and you're like, wow, I just got here to 50,000. And now they set the bar to 100,000. Okay, let me get a drink of water. Let's go again. I'm gonna run another 50,000. Yeah, so you gotta realize at some point, man, just enjoy. If it happens, it happens. And I feel sorry for the ones that think that they're gonna come here and retire and they're gonna live off of YouTube. I tell you what, Paul, Old Dog New Tricks, I met him, we've been around each other. I like him. He's I don't have anything derogatory to say about him personally or anything. I don't care if you do, I don't. He's just a dude trying to make his way. And then there's that other guy down there, wears the glasses and the hat usually and sits and talks in front of the camera. I ain't gonna say his name. And both of them made videos long ago. Had they come here completely busted with just a few $100s a month to live on. That, you know, they were at the bottom of their barrel, just a very tiny bit of money to live on. Either one of them, I'd like to see them go back and try to live on that now after they've been eating the sweet cookies, you know, of reward that they've had over the past while. But they told all of that, and that was their story. You know, they come here, they were busted, they kind of started a YouTube channel. They happened to grab a following, and boom, it changed their life. Every person said, ooh, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel too. And I'm not one of them. Some of those channels are a ton of the channels are way newer channels than us. I wasn't trying to do the same format as them too. And that's the thing too, they have a niche. The guy that sits with the hat and the glasses on, talking in front of the camera, he's got a niche. He's telling a story, or he's letting other people tell their story. And Paul's got a niche that it's some of that too, plus he covers other topics. But I'm not here to give advice. I'm not here to give advice. I've tried. For me to give advice, I want to see people heed the advice. And I've been here longer than any of them cats. But it doesn't matter how long you've been. For you to heed the people that you're talking to heed the advice, they got to listen and be willing to take the advice. And I don't know. I just didn't like that. You know, you really from your heart trying to warn people, you know, be careful. There's sharks in that water, and they're mean sharks. They're not nice sharks. They're mean sharks. And there's crocodiles there too. And so don't go over on that side. Go over here on this side, and there's nothing in the water. And they'll go in the shark infested waters every time anyway. And then they get their leg bit off and they go, yeah, he said there were sharks in the water. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. Yeah, I just enjoy it here, showing our life. I've created my own bubble around me, and that's the next thing. That's the next thing. I don't feel like that I'm the person to give advice on some of that, because I have created my own invisible wall, my own bubble around me here. I've created my own atmosphere right here. And my viewers, they watch that, and if it's someone that has not experienced the Philippines, they're gonna think that this is the Philippines life. But it's really not the Philippines life. It is the bubble. It is the air that I have created around me, that I still see the incoming shells hitting it, and sometimes my invisible shield knocks them away, and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm in a bubble here, you know. I'm in my own altered reality, and you may not have that altered reality. So your experience may be totally different. When I came here years ago, I too was living outside the bubble, and I lived in very poor, jammed up, crowded neighborhoods, like up in Manila, like in Chianta, Parola, all around. I mean, I was over in on Cabal Street, down where all the buses are, over another part around Metro Manila, and I moved all around, and then in Negros, I stayed outside of Bacolod, a few towns away, out in a small little town that didn't have nothing. It's grown up a lot since then, but back then it just didn't have nothing. And but I enjoyed it. It was a great experience, but it was only those short experiences, you know, where you're there for a few weeks or a month or two and you go back to the US. And you know, you can walk away from all of those things that wear at you before they really begin to wear at you. So when I came here and created this life with Melinda, I had already experienced all those things, and I knew I needed boundaries. I knew that. I knew I needed space around me for me to be happy. There's only so much space you're going to get here unless you get into some really remote places, and then you're going to give up a lot of other nice things, like, you know, 25 minutes we're up in the city, and we have just about anything I could ask for there. We have probably more offered there than my hometown back in Texas, in a way. Maybe there might be a few things, but definitely Buc-ee's is there. And definitely Tex-Mex is there. But hey, I digress. But I'm in a bubble here. I'm in a shell here, and I created this, and I purposely created this. And I want to tell you guys one more thing while we're having a little heart-to-heart chat right here. Somebody recently commented, and these are not people writing bad things or nothing. It's just sharing, and I'm going to share over what they said in case you didn't read it. Had someone write about, why would I spend all this money here, and you know, maybe I'm not going to live that long to see the rewards, you know, like you'll never see the benefit of it. Well, first of all, maybe they don't know how old I am. I just turned 56 a month and a half ago. So let's say if I even lived to the age of my father, which had all kinds of health troubles. I mean, he died with a laundry list of health problems, serious health problems. But he made it to 77 years old. So let's say that gives me 21. If I made it even with all of his mess, and I'm healthier than he was, I'm way healthier. When he was my age, he was already pretty broke down. And he made it all that time. I know there's no guarantee in time. My mother died early. But let's just talk about it. So we'll pull up a chair, or as my old friend that's in his 90s right now, JB, would say, let's pull up a case of nails and chew the heads off. Yep. So if I make it another 20 something years, let's just say if, you know, like if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his butt on the ground when he jumps. So let's just say I make it another 20 something years. Well, for me to rent a place in the Philippines, rent is not cheap like it used to be. When I first came here and up in Manila, man, I was renting like an apartment for, man, anywhere from like 4,000 and something pesos to 5,000 and something a month. You know, 100. Let's just round it off, anywhere between $80 to $115 a month. I was renting an apartment, and sometimes partially furnished too. And that ain't the game now. You might find some outlier places every once in a while, you know, the hidden lost gem, and I guarantee you there's a reason it's still cheap, because probably there's some problems all around it. It doesn't have a bubble, and but it's not that cheap here anymore. And I'm seeing a lot of these guys now renting houses and apartments, and you know, they're spending $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. And it's also not just retirees with a tiny pension. It's some guys, you know, that's got double pensions coming in, and they're moving over here. Or they're moving over here even with their asawa from another country, you know, their wife that's not Filipina. You know, they might be the same race, Caucasian or whatever as him, or they might be even from another country. He might be American or Canadian, and she'd be German or, you know, some other European or something, and they're moving here. And same thing with Koreans and all. But the rent has really, really went up. And you're going to have to go out these small province towns, and you're going to have to live with the province mentality to find anything cheap anymore, unless you just get lucky and you just find that lost jewel. And you're going to have to move away from all those conveniences. There's not going to be Grab right there at your door. There's not going to be, you know, going and walking the mall with a little short trike or you know, or a hubble ride or a little taxi ride right up the street. You're going to have to get on a bus, or you're going to have your own vehicle, and you're going to have to ride, and you're going to have to make, you know, a 30, 40 minute or an hour and a half trek to go to where there's any of those Western niceties that you're used to. So I built all of this, and just say that I prepaid my rent and created something to leave for my wife. And she wasn't just like brand new, my wife. I didn't just marry her over here and never take her to the U.S. She's lived in the U.S. She's been through ups and downs with me in the U.S. and my family, and been through losses together with her family, my family, and she's vetted as a gem. She is one of those lost gems, and you all probably see that as well. But not everybody gets that either. You know, everything that glitters is not gold. Please remember that. Please remember that. And you know, we went through the ups and downs together, and some things that was strenuous on our relationship, that if she was ready to roll, it probably would have happened, you know. But we both just held through, just strong, man. I mean, we didn't even stay mad at each other for a day, just hours. Or if there was something really stressful, like, you know, going through loss of family and you know, back to back, man, we just spent endless hours, like with my brother and my dad in hospitals. And And we were personally taking care of both of them ourselves. It was just so rough, man, so rough. And she was a trooper. So I paid it forward. Mel, when I leave this world, have something she can call her own and something that she can earn an income from. Because do you just love her when you're alive, or do you love her beyond your life? You know, because if you're only concerned for your time, you're using them like a toy or a pet. You really don't care for that person. You have that person just serving you at your convenience. And then you say, oh, whatever it is after I'm gone, you know. Fend for yourself. Well, man, I wouldn't want you as a partner. Of course, back in the States, if you had a wife and kids, you'd be like, I want to, leave my kids something when I'm gone. Well, it's the same thing with your wife, man. You want to leave something for her. If that's the person that's been right there at your side through thick and thin, through the hard times. I went through some surgeries and I was recovering from being an explosion. When Melinda got with me, I was pretty effed up too, man. I'm going to tell you, I still had a lot of serious issues going on from being in that explosion. And you know what? She could have seen all that and just tucked tail. But she didn't. She was nothing but genuinely concerned and took care of me. And I don't even think I would be in the condition that I am today if it wasn't for a great person like Melinda. And because it gave me the mentality, the willpower to make myself better too. Yeah, it sure did. So I'm in a bubble. I'm in a bubble. This is my own air and atmosphere. This is not the general representation of the Philippines. You're going to have to find a way to create your own bubble. And whatever makes you happy. It may not be all of this that makes you happy. This is what makes me happy, and that's all that matters. I don't really owe an explanation to anybody. But out of all fairness, I want to make you understand, I am not, 3 years away from hopefully from, kicking the bucket. But hey, anything can happen. But if God blesses me, and then if I'm wise and take care of my health, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I might have a beer occasionally, and I mean occasionally, like I'm still in the same 6-pack of Corona for like the last 6 months, So yeah, occasionally. And I get out here moving around. I'm very active. I try to eat healthy. I slide in a snack here and there and all. There might be 2 days in a month that I decide that I want that Coca-Cola, 2 days in a month. And then I drown myself with water afterwards because I want to flush as much of what I just drank right back out. It's kind of funny. But, it's just, I do give myself some rewards, but I've created a bubble. And if I get to live long enough, well, it pays itself back. Now, here's the next thing. When we bought this property, and you don't find just beachfront just any and everywhere, especially buildable beachfront. Some of it's real sharp cliffs, or some of it's just too dangerous to build along. But to find a buildable beachfront that has some rules set around it, like this subdivision. You don't find this very often, a subdivision backed up to a beach. It's rare. It's that hidden gem I'm talking about. And when we bought this property, to Melinda's mind, it was an outrageous amount of money because, of course, she's from having no money. And she's from hearing where, somebody bought some foreign land for 100 pesos a square meter. But yeah, did you know that they had to buy, 40,000 square meters to get it at that price, and add that up, and then you find out they didn't even get a title. Yeah, or it wasn't even legally supposed to be sold. So this was a legit deal. Then, so I built here on it, and while we're building, the price is growing at the same time. So, it's just the value is going up and you're building and the value is going up. So let's just say the raw lot. The raw lot at the time here in a subdivision back to a beach was 5,000 pesos a square meter. And shortly after that, it went to 6,500. And then it went to 8,000 and something. And then it went to 10,000 and something. And we hear right now that there's one person that was even interested in selling, and now they changed their mind. The family said no. And they were wanting 13,000 and something per square meter. Then the value of houses. Now this house is built rock solid. You know, for you new people that don't know, this is a solid cast form concrete house that has base columns and footers in it that would hold up a skyscraper. almost. I mean, they're pretty serious. There's some pretty big columns in here with tons of 16 mm steel, and then backed up with some 12 and all as well in it. So it was well overbuilt. Everybody was saying, what are you building? You know, a condominium building or something? When they see me putting that up. So it's a rock solid structure. There's detail put in it and all, that it will hold its value, because some places in the Philippines, a lot of people don't want to buy a secondhand home because they're falling apart. You know, a lot of bad workmanship goes in the beginning, and they want to build their own new problem instead of taking somebody else's old problem. So this house has value, and a lot of times even Filipinos will buy a house that a foreigner built in a heartbeat, because they know that the foreigner from Germany or Canada or United States or Britain or wherever most likely built it to a higher standard, and they know that. It's not a joke. It's not an insult to Filipinos. It's just the fact, maybe we had a bigger budget, or we knew different engineering techniques and things like that. So this house was growing in value faster than we were building it. And I mean growing in value as in beyond what it was costing us to build it. So if we was to sell out here right now, and we even sold it at a discounted price, I mean at a heavily discounted price, we would have every single bit of our money back, without a doubt. And I've tried to teach about casting these concrete walls. It's a little bit more work up front to do it, but in the back end you gain, because once you strip those forms, man, you're ready to rock and roll. You're not far from moving in, to where when they stack hollow block and they got to do all that rendering and so much stuff to try to fix it, and then they're slapping in and recutting the walls to sink in electrical and plumbing after they've built the wall, a lot of times even after they rendered the wall. Man, they're working in circles and they're just wasting time and materials. So we spend a little bit more time getting the wall ready when we build it, but once we peel it, we've done, you know, slingshot it ahead at that point. So, you know, I guess let me put it this way. If you had us cast forming a wall, I say a whole room, and you had somebody stacking hollow block, visually, it would look like that the hollow block stacker is whooping our butts. Because you'll see this wall, but that's just raw hollow block. It has no infrastructure in it. It's weak. And it might feel weak to your hand, but wait till the old shaker comes along, the old earthquake, you know, and then you're going to realize, yeah, I didn't want to live in a tomb smashed like a pancake. So yeah, man, you're like, oh, wow. You know, it's like the tortoise and the hare story, you know. You're like, oh, wow, look at that, man. That hare built that hollow block wall really, really fast. And look at her, they're still over there putting screws and bolts in. And then all of a sudden, we're mixing and we pour and we peel off our sheets. And you're like, there's a smooth finish, hard, strong wall with the electrical already in it, with the plumbing already in it. It's ready to put on the light switch. It's ready to put on a coat of paint almost, you know. Yep. The door is ready just to slide in and screw into place. We don't have to render in the opening. Yeah, I catch up with you and then I just leave you in the dust. Yep. Tortoise and the hare story right there. So Then the next thing, again, bubble, atmosphere, paying it forward to your loved ones. The value increasing here. The economy is growing. Look what happened to Vietnam. Look what happened to South Korea. Look what happened to many places around. All of a sudden these places springboard forward. Thailand, look at them. And Asia is a growing market over here right now. So then the next thing is that it's revenue generating. So right now we have bookings. I don't show our guests, so I won't even get the camera out and put it on them. So if y'all look at our videos, you're like, "Oh, I don't see nobody there." It's because I catch when they leave or they're in their room, and I come out and record. I want you, when you come to our place, to have your privacy. I might be a vlogger, but I'm not an asshole. Okay? I'm not an asshole. I will not just slam you. I hate that when vloggers do that without permission or anything. Walk up people in restaurants and on the street and just putting the camera in their face, So I respect people's privacy. So we have guests here all the time right now. Not a solid booking. This past week we had guests all week long and into the weekend. We had the last one check out yesterday, and we have new check in tomorrow. So we have 1 day gap, and that's today, and I'm out here yapping. So we are revenue generating. So again, to that person, you're never going to be around to see rewards. If I was just straight paying, building a house and just big old house way back in the mountains where nobody wants to be and all that, some people want to be, but let's just say on the most part, most people don't want to be. I would, the mountains has its dangers too. I'm going to sidetrack again. We have a viewer that says, "That's why I built way back in the mountains in Bohol and all." And he's a great guy. I like him. He's a good viewer, so I ain't trying to punk him or nothing like that. He's a great viewer. But to him, his safety was being way back in the mountains. But man, we constantly watch news stories all over the entire country of landslides and mudslides in the mountains. I had a friend lost his place over in Bicol. Lahar flow from the volcano and heavy rains and a typhoon when he was traveling with us coming into the Philippines, and crap, man, that lahar, which that's the ash from a volcano, when all those heavy torrential rains broke it loose and made it start flowing. That crap was powerful, man. It was moving boulders the size of a bus and floating them by and just taking everything out like a bowling ball. So, there's dangers everywhere. This is a very cataclysmic, catastrophe-ridden country. No matter where you go, you're near a volcano, you're near mountains and landslides and rivers busting out, whatever, the high winds in the mountains. A lot of times in the mountains, the winds, according to what part of the mountains you're in and where, the winds get more intense up there during a typhoon than down below. And man, it'll just rip all the trees away. No, thank you. I don't want a 150-year-old tree pounding me like a nail in the dirt. Each to their own, whatever makes you happy, if that's where you're happy. But the fact is that we can generate revenue. We can meet great people. I get to meet expats coming in. I get to meet viewers. We had an expat here from Denmark. He's not a viewer. He didn't even know we had a channel, He's just a random guy that he likes staying in that beach by Kubo out there, that little native style cabin like we built out there. We get to meet these great people, and it makes a little fun in my life, besides just sitting here feeling isolated and alone. I get to speak a little to other people and all, and have occasional conversation. And if they're open for it, I don't push myself on nobody. I don't just pop up and plop down next to them and anything. But if they seem open to speaking, I'll talk to them. And I created my bubble, and I created an economic bubble to go with it. So then the YouTube channel has helped pay the way some, I'm not going to deny, but it's not no grandiose amount of money. It didn't change the world, okay? It did not change the world. So that's my story. Don't, don't put on some rose-colored glasses and think that you're just going to come over here and change your life with YouTube. You've got to have real content. You've got to have maybe a niche market, and you've got to be able to speak and openly convey things to people. You know, you've got to be able to really put yourself out there. And those that have really grown, that's what they do. And even where I'm at right now, you know, 90% of the YouTube channels never make it even to the level that we're at right now. And that's the facts. You can get online and start doing your research and you'll see. And I'm not bragging with that, but it does make me happy. It does make me happy that we have held on and we've got such a good viewer base. We've got such long-time subscribers to our channel, and I really appreciate you guys so much. And you're just like a big family to me. That's why I'm so open to sit here and talk to you. It's like I see all of you just sitting in my living room with me right now, and we're all just having a conversation. All right, everybody. Take care, and God bless.